What's up, YouTube? Been a while since my last video. It's finally beginning to get a little bit closer to spring here, and there's been some changes. The last car related video I did, you guys saw that I had the Stingray, the Corvette C7. Well, I had a bit of an unfortunate incident, which I'll go into further detail in another video, but that vehicle is no longer with me, and I had to find a replacement, unfortunately. Despite how short-lived that experience was and how disappointed I was over the change, I am very happy with the new vehicle as well. I picked up a 2017 Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT. It's a vehicle I've kind of always wanted, to be honest with you. I had a Chrysler 300 previously, and I always had my eye on the Jeep many years ago, back when I used to daily drive the 300, but it was just outside of my financial means at the time. Fortunately enough, it's something that I can now afford, so I've decided to finally get it. The Corvette would have been a vehicle that I could have only drove during the summer months, of course, which here in Canada is only about 6 months of the year, unfortunately, so it just wasn't really ideal for my first kind of big vehicle purchase. I need something that I can utilize all year round, and thankfully the Jeep is exactly that. So without further ado, I'll give you guys a first look at the Jeep. I've already done some mods to it, so it's not stock as it sits right now. But anyways, like I said, it is a Jeep Grand Cherokee, the SRT model. This is 2017, and it's in red velvet pearl, which is pretty sweet. I love the color. But when I picked it up, it had about 13,000 kilometers on it, and it's only got about 16,000 now, so I've only done about 2,000 kilometers on it, but so far I'm absolutely in love with it. I just picked it up today from CJR Performance, which is a performance shop in the Toronto area that specializes in Mopars and Mopar customization. So what we had done today on the vehicle was we had a cold air intake installed by JLT. We had a full exhaust set up by GT Haus installed, which is absolutely incredible. For anybody looking for an exhaust for one of these SRTs or the Trackhawks, I would highly recommend the GT Haus. It is a licensed Mopar product, and honestly, it's got a fantastic sound. It's deep, it's punchy, it's got a lot of bite, but it doesn't have the raspy droning when you're driving on the highway. So I really enjoy it. But anyways, some of the other changes that we did prior to today is, as you can see, we got rid of the Jeep emblem on the front of the vehicle. I just didn't like how that looked. And we also made some changes around the back here on the tailgate. We swapped out the Jeep emblem and the SRT emblem. They come standard in chrome, so we swapped those out for the black version, and the back end looks much better now. I still need to tint the tail lights. That's probably in the next couple days, but so far I'm pretty pleased with how the rear end looks. Like I mentioned, one of the mods that we did, and I just got back today, was the GT Haus exhaust. That's it there. It sounds great at idle. It's definitely a lot louder than the stock exhaust setup, but it's not obnoxious. It's not something that would bother you just when the vehicle's idling. I'll give it a couple revs so you can see what it sounds like when you really pound it. Just give me a quick sec here. As I mentioned, the next mod on the list is probably the tinted tail lights, and then of course with summer on the way, we're going to move on to wheel upgrades. When we do the wheels, we're going to do 22-inch wheels, 11-inch wide all around, and at the same time doing wheels, we're also going to do the eye box springs and get this thing dropped, because as you can see right now, the wheel gap, even with the 22s. These are 20s, the stock 20s, but even with the 22s, there'd be just too much wheel gap there. And in addition to the wheel gap problem, with the car riding so high right now, when you take some turns, you can kind of feel a little bit more body roll than I'm used to. I know dropping it down about 2 inches or so, it's going to make a big difference in the handling. So of those two, I'm probably going to go with the Eibach, just because that's the one of the manufacturers that the shop that I'm having the work done at deals with directly, and there are some sets available that we can order right now. There are no back orders for those, which is great, because as you guys know, the supply chain right now for getting car parts and getting pretty much anything is kind of absurd. So it's good to know that it's in stock. It's something that we can have installed as soon as possible. After we do the wheels and the springs and get it lowered a bit, then I'm going to move on to exterior, a few more exterior mods that I'd like to do. I'll probably order the carbon fiber front lip from Black Ops Auto Works, possibly the hood, and then maybe side skirts. But I definitely want to get the Black Ops Auto Works wing. This wing here, it comes out to about here. As you can see, the Black Ops Auto Works one sticks out a little bit further and just has a little bit more of an aggressive kind of look to it. So they also have a mid wing that gets installed right here. I'm considering that as well. But basically, I want to get some carbon and see how I like it. I've never done carbon fiber on any of my vehicles, so I plan on picking up some carbon fiber accents for this, both the exterior and the interior. So yeah, it's a bit of a brief overview of the 2017 Jeep SRT that I picked up. This will be the new daily driver and the new vehicle that I plan to do the build on. I've got quite a bit in store, like I've explained throughout this video, and probably a lot more to come over time, because you know how it is. You see something and you want to get it, so the list just keeps growing and growing. Anyhow, I'll give you guys a quick look at the interior before I let you go. Like I said, when I picked this vehicle up, it had only about 13,000 kilometers on it, which is about 8,000 miles. So even though it was a 2017, it was barely driven. The original owner of this vehicle, according to the dealer I bought it off, he's a regular customer at that dealer, and he always comes in and buys high-end vehicles, barely drives them, and then trades them in a couple years later. It's just something that he habitually does. So this vehicle was definitely not abused. It was owned by a lot older individual, someone who, in the 8,000 miles he drove it, barely drove it. So I've got a good bone stock vehicle to build off of here, and the only interior mods we've really done so far, I wouldn't even really call it a mod, is I picked up the Husky liners, the cargo mats for the rear of the vehicle, and also for the front of the vehicle, because here in Canada, snow and salt and all that shit is a huge problem, and I don't want to get the SRT mats that it came with messy. So I'll put those back in spring when all the snow and salt is gone, but for now we'll stick with the Husky liners. Anyways, that's gonna about do it for today. I appreciate you guys checking out this video. Like I said, I've got a pretty extensive build planned for this, so if you're a Mopar fan or you're a fan of the WK2 Jeep platform and you kind of want to see what we've got in store, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit like on this video, and try to check back every week or so. I really want to get regular with the content. I know I've made some promises in the past about regular videos, but just my businesses lately have been a little too busy for me to find the time. But I'm gonna get better with that whole time management thing, and hopefully I can keep the content coming at you guys quicker than ever. Anyways, thanks again folks for checking this out, and hopefully you're excited for the build like I am. Anyways, until next time folks, peace out everyone.